Welcome to Base Watches. Not everyone wants to drop thousands on a watch, especially if you're just getting into the hobby or building that first pre-watch lineup around the $1,000 mark. The good news? There are tons of excellent automatics under $500. Today, I'm spotlighting 5 that deserve a spot on your radar and maybe on your wrist. Nodus is one of those young American brands that has built its reputation the right way, with passion, transparency, and a deep respect for craftsmanship. The Nodus Retrospect II is a perfect example of that philosophy. At first glance, it looks like a classic diver, tough, functional, and all business. But the details reveal just how much thought went into it. The case measures 40.1 millimeters across, with a lug-to-lug of 48.6 millimeters and a thickness of 12.9 millimeters, including the double-domed sapphire crystal. Everything, and I mean everything, is made from solid 316 low-carbon stainless steel. The case, the bezel, the bracelet, even the crown. The brushing is sharp and directional, while the polished sides give it a subtle touch of refinement. On the wrist, it feels substantial without being overwhelming. The long lugs give it presence, but it still sits comfortably thanks to the bracelet's design. A 22mm stainless steel band that honestly punches way above its price range. Female end links allow immediate articulation. Solid links throughout ensure weight and sturdiness. And screw pins with 6 micro-adjust holes guarantee a perfect fit. Inside beats the Seiko NH35, a movement you'll see often in this price range, and for good reason. It's reliable, serviceable, and proven in countless micro-brand watches. Combine that with 200 meters of water resistance and a screw-down crown, and you've got a diver that's built to last. If you've already picked one up, congratulations. You've made an excellent choice. The Nodus Retrospect II isn't just a good value watch. It's a statement that great craftsmanship doesn't need to cost a fortune. Dan Henry is a name that carries weight among collectors, not because it's an old brand, but because it's run by someone who lives and breathes watch collecting. Dan Henry himself is a passionate enthusiast who wanted to make vintage design accessible, and the Dan Henry 1970 nails that mission perfectly. Out of the box, you get the watch on a tropic-style rubber strap and, as a bonus, a beautiful canvas and leather 3-watch roll, a nice touch that shows the brand cares about presentation. The watch itself measures 40 millimeters in diameter, with a 46 millimeters lug-to-lug and a thickness just under 15 millimeters. With its short, sloping lugs and domed mineral crystal, it hugs the wrist beautifully and gives off that unmistakable 70s dive watch charm. The dial is pure vintage inspiration, a matte black surface with rectangular lume plots, an orange chapter ring, and a bright orange seconds hand that injects a pop of color without going overboard. The framed white date window at 3 o'clock adds just the right amount of functionality. Powering the watch is the dependable Seiko NH35, hand-windable hacking, and with over 40 hours of power reserve. It's a simple, rugged choice that perfectly matches the watch's philosophy. The Dan Henry 1970 isn't trying to reinvent the wheel. It's trying to celebrate it. It's not about luxury or hype. It's about capturing that feeling of vintage adventure. If you love old-school dive watches but don't want to deal with fragile antiques or inflated prices, this is the one for you. The Spinnaker Bradner is one of those watches that you just can't ignore. You see it once and it sticks with you. That's because it dares to be different. At first glance, the curved sapphire crystal immediately catches your eye, distorting the internal bezel underneath, giving it this deep, almost liquid effect that plays with light in a way that's mesmerizing. It's not a true compressor watch, but with its internal bezel and twin crowns, it pays homage to that vintage compressor style that collectors love. The crown at 2 o'clock lets you rotate the internal bezel smoothly in either direction, and it feels great to use. The 42mm case is bold and chunky, with a 15mm thickness and a 51mm lug-to-lug. But the lugs curve down nicely, letting the watch sit securely on your wrist. It's the kind of watch that commands attention, but not in an obnoxious way. Inside, we got the familiar Seiko NH35 once again, and while it's not exotic, it's trustworthy and easy to maintain. What makes the Bradner special is how much personality it packs into a sub-$500 diver. The build quality, the finishing, and the presents are all far above what you'd expect. Some will find it too thick or too bold. Others will absolutely love it for that same reason. That's the beauty of the Bradner. It's not trying to please everyone. It's unapologetically itself, and that's rare these days. Raven is a name that flies a bit under the radar, but among enthusiasts, it's respected. Founded by Steve Laughlin, who previously worked with Benares watches, Raven has carved out its own lane. Tough, practical dive watches, built by a guy who genuinely understands what watch lovers want. The Raven Solitude continues that legacy. Sized perfectly at 40 millimeters in diameter and 47 millimeters lug to lug, it hits that sweet spot for daily wear. Think Rolex Submariner proportions, but with a design language that's entirely its own. The Solitude isn't flashy, and that's the point. It's honest. The case has a toolish charm, the bezel has crisp action, and the dial options give you personality: white, blue, or green with gold accents if you want something more daring. The finishing is tight, the bracelet is well engineered, and the whole package feels purposeful. Inside, the NH35 keeps things simple and robust, the same reliable movement that powers many micro-brands, chosen here to keep the price realistic. The Raven Solitude isn't a homage or a copy. It's a modern interpretation of what a diver should be: clean, confident, and built to perform. It's a watch for people who don't need to shout to be noticed. And finally, we have a legend, the Citizen Promaster Fugu. While Citizen is best known for its eco-drive models, the brand has a deep and respected history with automatic divers, and the Fugu line continues that proud tradition. At 44 millimeters, it sounds huge on paper, but don't let that number fool you. Thanks to its bowl-shaped undercut case design, short lugs, and smart polishing, it rears closer to 42 millimeters, even 41 millimeters for some wrists. The black iron-plated stainless steel gives it a rugged, stealthy presence, and the sloping polished edges along the case sides help it catch light beautifully. Inside, you'll find Citizen's in-house caliber 8204, a true workhorse that's been serving faithfully since the 1970. It's easy to service, highly reliable, and built to last decades. That's the advantage of going with a big brand. The infrastructure is there to keep your watch running forever. The Fugu is a diver's watch in the purest sense. It's about function, visibility, and reliability. But what really makes it special is how well Citizen has refined the design over the years. The rounded case, bold indices, and overall balance make it feel like a tool watch that's proud of what it is. No gimmicks, no fluff. Just a clean, capable dive watch from a brand that knows exactly what it's doing.